Senator Dianne Feinstein is a Democrat from California, ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator, you have a bill that would, quote, take care of it. What's your reaction to the president's words today?
Big crocodile tears. There's no bill that merits this, that orders this. It's his order. He can stop it in a minute if he chooses to do so. And I guess that's one of the things that annoys me the most. You have nearly 2,500 children that have been separated from their families, from their mother, and no one knows where they are. I think it's just terrible. It's very upsetting, and it's never happened before. And then the president gets on TV, and really, it's dreadful.
Let me ask you this. There are 49 co-sponsors now, the entirety of the Democratic caucus, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. That's right.
No Republicans on it so far. What are they saying when you approach them?
Well, they're looking at it. We have 3 or 4 who are taking a good look at it, and I hope they would. I mean, I'm open to changes. It's pretty benign. It's very simple. It just prohibits the taking of a child except for certain specific circumstances, which are laid out in the legislation.
I want to play you what Susan Collins said about why she's not co-sponsoring the legislation. She's obviously a person I think people would anticipate would be a possible get for you. I want you to listen and give your response to her reasons. Take a listen.
Her legislation is not the answer. It's far too broad. It would essentially prevent arrests within 100 miles of the border, even if the person has committed a serious crime or is suspected of terrorist activity. So that is not the answer. What I have done is worked with a bipartisan group of senators. I think we should try again. We should not give up. It is important that we enact immigration reform.
Is that true?
I'm sorry, is what true?
That it would not allow arrest within 100 miles of the border, even for serious crimes?
I have no problem. If that bothers Susan, we'll take it out. That's easy. That's easy.
So then tell me this, what is the end game here from your perspective? It seems to me that the White House quite explicitly is essentially using these children as hostages to try to get Democrats to give in to a variety of demands they have on restricting legal immigration as part of a legislative package. Is that something you're willing to entertain?
Well, I think that's exactly right. Of course, we're willing to entertain a legislative package if it makes sense, but don't hold children hostage. I mean, you don't have to take 2,500 children from their parents to get support for something. I mean, that's bizarre, and it's hard for me to believe that even President Trump would want to do that. It's just bizarre.
Well, he pretty clearly does want to do it, or at least his advisors do. I mean, you have John Kelly talking about how it's a deterrent. You have Stephen Miller giving on-the-record quotes about how it's a deterrent. Jeff Sessions saying that Romans 13 commands us to obey the laws of man in a godly fashion. I mean, there does seem to be a part of this administration that knows what they're doing.
Well, this is the United States of America. It isn't Nazi Germany, and there's a difference. And we don't take children from their parents until now. And I think it's such a sad day. People are so upset. I just read a wonderful letter to the editor by Laura Bush. I can't believe that this is happening in the United States. And the president insists, so we, of course, will do everything we can to pass a bill which would prohibit this.
With the legislation, just so that I'm clear about this, basically they're saying we're now going to prosecute everyone who crosses illegally for whatever reason, and when we prosecute them, we have to take them away from their children because that's the sort of processing method that we're using. How does the legislation address that?
Well, the legislation does not address that. What it says is that you cannot specifically remove a child from their parent for no reason other than the fact that they're crossing the border. And that's where that is.
Senator Dianne Feinstein, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Chris.